Right, today I'm going to show you how to make these chicken bacon ranch sliders with homemade ranch. Okay, so I'm going to start by getting some chicken thighs. Okay, we're going to season this with some Essentials Blend. This is basically just salt, pepper, onion, garlic, you know, the essentials. Get a good amount of seasoning on our chicken. We're going to go ahead and do both sides. Alright, so I've got my griddle preheated on about medium-high heat. I'm going to throw some oil down. And then we're just going to throw those chickens right there in that oil. Okay, while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my homemade ranch going. So I've got some Duke's mayo. Put maybe about a quarter cup of mayo in there. Do about an equal amount, about a quarter cup of sour cream. Then I've got some buttermilk. We'll do a little bit in there. You can always add more when you get mixing it in case you need more. And we'll throw in some dill. Throw in a little bit of our Essentials Blend because you want some of that pepper and garlic and onion that's in there. So just using some Essentials Blend will work to get that in there. And then I'm going to chop some fresh parsley here. We don't really need all of this. Just going to get some of it chopped real fine as I can get it. Okay, like I said, we don't need all of this, so I'm just going to put some in there. We'll see how that does. We're going to give this a good mix. You can see I didn't do any real measuring here, so you can always adjust as needed, add more of whatever you think it needs. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a taste. Actually, that's very tasty. Perfect. We're going to give these a flip. Make sure they get cooked all the way through. I like to see that browning crust on both sides. So that looks good. Okay, so these still have a little bit to go to make sure they're cooked all the way through. I'm going to shove them off to the side over here so they're on a lower heat so they don't overcook. But I need them out of the way. And now that we've got the chicken out of the way, I'm going to throw my bacon down and get that cooking. Okay, our bacon is cooked. We're going to pull that off. Let it kind of drain a little bit on the paper towel. Kind of crisp up. Chicken should be done, so I'm going to pull that off. And we're going to cut this up into thin-ish strips. Probably thin that one out a little bit. I'm trying to be careful to cut against the grain on this, because with chicken, if you cut with the grain, it tends to be a little bit chewier, or if you cut against the grain, it makes it a little bit more tender. And that's what I want, a little more tender. So you can see that chicken, nice and juicy. Look at those juices just squirt down. Nice and charred on the outside, juicy on the inside, perfectly cooked. Alright, so now to build our sandwich. So we're going to use some King's Hawaiian rolls. There's something about a slider on a King's Hawaiian roll cut this open, trying to keep the rolls intact here. Alright, my cutting is a little less than desirable, but it'll work. It'll be fine. So before I do that though, I do need to get some of my bacon over here. We're going to cut this up into some bite-sized pieces. Okay, so now open this up. So we're going to use some sliced Monterey Jack cheese down on the bottom here. So we're going to layer this down here. Should be able, there's 10 slices of cheese here. I think I should be able to use 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom. There's 4. I'm going to take one and tear it in half. Look at that. 5. Perfect. The cheese is going to kind of act like a barrier. It's going to kind of protect the bread as I put all this juicy meat and everything on there so it doesn't get too soggy. We'll load up our chicken. Don't be afraid of the chicken. Load it up on there. That's what makes it a good sandwich. Okay, so we're going to load this up with our bacon. Sprinkle those bacon bites all around here. Make sure you get a little on each bite. And we're going to take our homemade ranch here. We're just going to drizzle a little bit on here just to get that that flavor all the way through our sandwich. And then top it with our final layer of cheese. Last 5 slices. And then we're going to top our bread right there on top of it. Okay, and to that I've just got about a 1/4 stick of melted butter here. And we're just going to spread all over the top. Add a little bit of buttery flavor to these sandwiches, but also will help kind of toast up the top of these buns. Alright, so I'm going to pick this up and gently place it in my pizza oven here. You'll notice that I did not preheat the pizza oven. That was intentional because I don't want it too hot, and it would overcook the bottom of this bread if that stone was hot, and I don't want the stone hot. I just want it to start melting the cheese and to start to lightly toast the outside of the bread. So I did not preheat the oven. I got it in there first, and then I turned it on. I'm keeping the temperature of the pizza oven on low while this is heating up so that we can monitor the toasting. Okay, I see the cheese is melty. Looks like the top is toasty. Let me make sure I can get that on the peel. Looks like it's gonna hold. We'll put that down here. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and cut this up into our sliders. Got a nice little white toasting on these buns. Alright, I'm going to just pull one out the middle here. Look at that. Alright, let's get a good dip in our homemade ranch here. Alright, let's give this a try. That homemade ranch makes all the difference. Do I have it dripping down my chin?
It's all in your beer.
That's awesome. Y'all, give this homemade ranch a try. Give these sliders a try. Let me know if you do in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching. Mmm.